Hi everyone, I hope you're okay, hope you're well. Hi if you're new to the channel, I'm Natasha. If you subscribe, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here, subscribe to the channel. I've had a few new subscribers recently, that's been lovely. So today, because I figured a few of you may, if you're into tarot, doing tarot readings yourself, may have got decks for Christmas. I thought I would show you my process of interviewing a tarot deck. Now, I guess this would normally be something you would do when you first get a deck, but really there's no reason you can't do it when you've been using a deck a while. Which I have this one. This is the Radiant Wise Spirit deck. It's an absolutely solid deck. It's like a workhorse of a deck. It's like the Knight of Pentacles of all my decks. Probably won't get that in the spread now because we'll see. I'll laugh if we do. It'll be good if we do, but something pentacly though. It's so solid. I can't even tell you. Anyway, it's just to demonstrate a process, so I won't go on and on too much about like my own personal relationship with this deck. We all have personal relationships with our decks really, and they develop over time. I'm not, if you happen to have this deck, I'm not trying to tell you how to work with it or give some sort of universal, you know, application for this deck. It's not like that at all. It's just to share my process, really. Yeah, so this is the spread I'm going to use. Here is going to be what kind of reading will you excel at. Here's going to be what are your strengths as a tarot deck. Here is what are you here to teach me. Here is how can I connect best with you. And here is what card sums you up the best. So I did try to do this with my new Witches deck because it does make, in a sense, it makes more sense to do it with a new deck, like I said. But it got very, very personal. You see, position 3 in particular is very personal. I think I had the Lovers in that position, and I just didn't really want to put it out there for everyone to see, really. So I thought, all right, well, this is the deck to choose if I kind of don't want it to get too personal, hopefully, but it might do. Anyway, let's get into the spread. What kind of reading will you excel at? What are your strengths? What are you here to teach me? How can I connect best with you? What card sums you up the best? I'm going to turn over all of these. I don't work with jumpers then, by the way, you'll notice. I don't always. Sometimes I just don't. Ooh, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, solid. Wheel of Fortune. I'm not going to work with reversals, actually, for this spread. I should have said that first. It just doesn't make sense for me in this spread to work with reversals. It just doesn't. That King of Pentacles. Did I? Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised at all that we are overwhelmed with Pentacles when interviewing this deck, because I did say it was just an absolutely solid deck, didn't I? So even just before we care about the positions of the cards, you know, we've got 3 Pentacles, we've got a Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting, very interesting. We've got a Wheel of Fortune there. Because as much as I don't really so much go in for super predicty tarot, especially in collective readings, especially on YouTube, if there was one deck out of all of my decks that I do turn to when I'm looking for those sorts of answers, it is this deck. So interesting the Wheel of Fortune's come up there. Yeah, very interesting. And then we've got some Cops. That's nice, and that's in that very personal position again. Where didn't I say when I did my Witches I had the Lovers down there, right? Let's not get too personal. Okay, so like I say, I'm just trying to do an example of a process. I'm not dictating to you how to use it. So what kind of reading will you excel at? The 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is, to me, it's mini Hierophant energy, okay? And the Hierophant is the type of figure you turn to for advice, you know? The type of figure you particularly might turn to for spiritual advice. Hierophant can often be a counsellor or a teacher or something like that, and this to me is coming through as as that sort of energy, but with it being minor arcana, obviously, over major arcana, it's sort of feels a bit gentler. Do you know what I mean? So, to me, with this card in this position, it's like saying, if you want some gentle guidance, and almost, because when I think of minor and major arcana, I think, you know, major arcana is like big life shit, basically, and then minor arcana in a way is sort of more everyday stuff. Major arcana sometimes you can think of as being more long term, and minor arcana you can think of being in a sort of nearer time frame as well. That's sort of a different way of saying it. So to me, what kind of reading will you excel at? Just the type of reading where you want a bit of friendly advice, I would say. Because the Three of Pentacles is that card of friendship as well. Yeah. So I think that card makes sense in that position. Okay, so what are your strengths as a tarot deck? Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. What I'm getting off this card is that kind of peek into the future. You know, the Wheel of Fortune. It is a card of when things are changing. It can often be a card of when things are on the cusp of changing. Turning points. But I am just seeing this Wheel of Fortune as giving you a little peek into where that wheel's kind of rolling, which does make total sense for my personal relationship with this deck and how I use this deck. Wheel of Fortune. Do I have anything else to say about this? Your strengths as a deck. The other thing I would say about the Wheel of Fortune card being in this position is we've got all the elements of the we've got all 4 elements represented here. I think it's fire, earth, kind of air and cups, or air and water. They're all represented. So like I said at the beginning, it's a workhorse of a deck. It's really broad. Its applications are broad. So I would say that is another strength of this deck, that it has very broad applications. Yeah. What are you here to teach me? Oh, no, do we really need to get personal again? 10 of Cups. I mean, yeah, we are going to end up getting personal again, aren't we? You know, because 10 of Cups energy to me, it's just love. And I don't mean like romantic love as such. Oh, by the way, yeah, I know I'm a bit clashy. It's just that I was wearing this cardigan anyway because, you know, Christmas. And then my sister bought me this and it's got bloody gorgeous kingfishers on and I couldn't not wear it. And yeah, if I'm clashy, I'm clashy. Whatever. I'm trying to distract myself from what are you here to teach me. Yeah. 10 of Cups energy is mad. It's the time. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of my decks are here to teach me about this. It's so personal though, so you know, if you do this spread, I'd be very interested to know how it works out for you, and I'd particularly be very interested to know what you get in this position for your new decks that you've got over Christmas, or even if you're interviewing old decks. But it's just that sense of connectedness with everything around you and connecting through the energy of love. That's 10 of Cups energy. And yes, it's beautiful when you share that in a more personal sense with another person and you have that emotional harmony with them. It really is. But the 10 of Cups to me is so much more than that. And, you know, it makes sense that a tarot deck would be here to teach someone that, because, yeah, sure, for me, that's it. That is just it. That is the whole fucking thing. And that's why I do the readings, and that's it. This is everything. Ten of Cups is everything, and I tell you, I just think this is what everyone fucking wants in life. I really do, and I kind of just... I know people have their barriers to it, and I know some people would say they don't, but I truly think that's what everyone really wants in life, ultimately, so I don't know what to say. Tell me if you disagree. I don't know. How can I connect best with you? Four of Pentacles. That's a bit baffling, actually. See, Four of Pentacles, though, is about control. In a sense, and a certain holding back. So, actually, I do know what this is trying to tell me. It's basically saying to, like, don't bloody do readings all the bloody time. That's what it's saying. It's saying, like, hold back on your usage, basically. Actually, I'm glad this has come up, because it's an important thing to talk about, and I think, like, how we use tarot is so important, and if you're using it all the time, it's not great. Like, if you're using it to make all tiny little decisions all the time, which isn't something I relate to be honest, but I know, like, that some people do go down that route. You know, that's not a great way to live your life, I don't think. You know, not that I'm judging you if you do that, but yeah. And I think that is what's coming through on this card. It's like a sort of holding back, and it's sort of talking about holding back on your usage. But related to that, it's about, like, sitting down at the table with the cards and having quite a specific focus in mind, and quite a specific idea of what you actually want to achieve and what's the point and why are you even doing this. You know what I mean? So this is also saying, like, don't use the cards to ask the same question over and over, or look at the same situation over and over, because all you end up with is a load of confusion and contradictions. And it really is good to, you know, just pull some cards, let it settle, use it as a springboard for your own thoughts, but take the time in between readings to do that. So often what I do, if I've done a reading for, like, a personal situation for me, I will sit here and I'll pull my cards, you know, with hopefully a reasonably focused focus, and I will leave the cards on the table and I'll go about my business, and I will come back to them later in the day and reflect on them. It's much better to do that than pack your cards away and then come and sit down again and ask some more questions around the same issue and get even more cards out and even more concepts thrown at you to work at or work with. So yeah, it's kind of saying, pull the cards and then let it settle, and, you know, let it inform your thoughts, but take your time to do that before you come back and ask and ask and ask and ask again, which makes total sense. And this is quite good kind of general tarot advice, actually, really, if you've got a deck, if you're new to tarot. So I'm glad that came out, and I hope it's useful for some of you. What card sums you up the best? King of Pentacles. I mean, yeah. So the King of Pentacles can be like a mentor, someone you look to for advice, not that dissimilar from the Three of Pentacles energy, which I sort of very much tie to Hierophant energy in my head. But also the King of Pentacles is just fucking solid, right? Pentacles is all about 3D solid stuff. Not exactly solid stuff that you can lay your hands on, because under the bracket of Pentacles is time and effort as well, to me. But it's that real life shit, you know? Grounded, solid, earthy, real life stuff. So for this card to come up here, what card sums you up best? Possibly like the other card that would sit beautifully here would be the Knight of Pentacles. But then the knights in the deck take everything to extreme, don't they? So actually, even though I said about getting a knight in this reading for this, did I say that? Or was that in my first take that I had to scrap? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, the king is the boss of the Suit of Pentacles, and this is just such a solid, grounded deck. It just makes absolutely so much sense that the King of Pentacles would be here. What card sums you up the best? Yeah. He's reliable. Really, really fucking reliable as well, the King of Pentacles. Like, he's not going to let you down. And this deck doesn't. It's solid. So, that kind of concludes my little deck interview. I hope you got something out of that. I hope it made sense for you. Thanks for tuning in. I really hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments if you interview your decks, if you've tried this spread. Let me know what new decks you might have got for Christmas or whatever. If you like the way I read, I don't normally do stuff like this on the channel. Normally I do star sign readings kind of twice a month for each sign, with a few random all signs readings for shorter readings if I want to do like shorter little snippets. But I might do these sorts of videos in future if you like them. I have been thinking about doing that sort of thing. I'm reluctant to try and do anything that kind of teaches tarot though, because I think it's such a personal journey, and that, you know, I could go through each of the cards and sort of say my feelings about them, but really it's not really the cards that you read, it's sort of the context of the situation and the energy of the situation. And I don't know how much value there would be in going through, even say just the major arcana, even just going through each card and me talking about it. I don't know how much value there would be in that, because they can come through so differently depending on what energy you're reading, you know. They're just a tool to kind of show someone the energy that you're feeling. So I don't know. But having said that, I've watched other channels where they talk about individual cards, and I've still found it useful, even though it has its limits. It has its limits, that's all. It's not that it's not valuable, it's just it has its limits, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah. Let me know what you think. I don't know. If people would be interested in that, I think I might consider doing something like that. But then I love doing the collective readings and actually doing a reading. There's nothing I love more than actually sitting down and doing an actual reading. So, yeah. I don't know. Let me know. I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you haven't already and all that. All right, bye.